Hi everyone, welcome back to another DIY tutorial. So in today's videos, I'm going to show you how to make these gorgeous paper roses using cardstock paper. The reason why I make all these roses is because I have a baby shower party coming up, and I found that making some flower bed drops would be a great idea for decorating the party. So I went to Michael and purchased a stack of cardstock paper and start experimenting, trying out how to make paper flower, the large versions of paper flowers, and I came up with these beautiful roses, which I really love the look of them. So I decided to do a DIY tutorial and to show you guys how to make them as well. Okay, so let's get started, and I will show you what supplies and material you will need for this project. So the first thing you need to have for making those roses, the cardstock paper, of course. So I told you that I went to Michael to purchase cardstock papers, and I found this kind of I think it's like 65 pounds cardstock. They are the perfect weight to make paper flower, like the large blooms, and it's really durable and it's really steady. So all I'm going to show you today is I'm using this purple paper here. There's different shades of purple right here, and the one that I'm going to do is this color. I already mixed some purple flower, as you can see, like this one over here. So I'm going to use this color today for demonstrations. And also you are going to need to have some flower petal templates. I make these templates myself. So what you need for this project is cardstock paper, of course, first thing first. So I went to Michael and I purchased different kinds of cardstock, and I picked different color as well. But the one that I'm using to make the roses is this 65-pound cardstock. They're like heavyweight, 110 pounds. Those are the weights for the paper thickness. It's not like how much the paper in total weight. So I'm using this color, a purple shade, to do today's demonstrations. I already made some before, but today I'm going to use this shades of purple to do demonstrations. This type of paper is very durable and it's really steady to make large paper flower. If you go thicker, it's not gonna be so nice because it's so hard to bend and to curl. So 65 pounds is the best. And also you will need to have some templates for the petals. I make those templates by myself with just a paper and a pencil. I don't have a computer program, to do it. I will show you how to do it in a tutorial. I might make a tutorial on how to make petal templates later on. So these are the templates that I use to do my roses, and you have to cut out different shapes for it. And for the small petals in the middle here, you're gonna need to have like 16 pieces of them. And the second layer is this one. This one you need 4. And then the last layer, which is this layer, I just cut out five of them. So to save time, I already cut out all the petal and I curl them as well. But I will show you how I curl my petals. It's really easy and you don't need to have fancy tool. This is a regular ruler which you can get from a dollar store or any kind of stationery shop, and it's just a regular ruler, nothing fancy. What I'm going to do, I'm going to hold one. I'm going to hold the top of the ruler here, and I'm just going to slide it through the paper, and then work on the other side. Yeah, here you go. You can also use a pencil to do it, but I found that using a ruler is much easier and you get very nice curl. Especially for petal that it's large. It's better to use a ruler. Okay, here you go. Okay, so I told you I already curled them to save time. So this is the small one here, and this is the last layer, and then the middle layer. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is, oh, you also need to have a glue gun and some glue sticks. So this is just like a basic glue gun that I bought like from Michael's, or you can buy it from Walmart or any crafting store. It only cost me like $5. And some glue gun sticks, you know, these are really cheap as well. Usually cost about like $5 for like 100 pieces. Alright, so I'm going to make the center right now. I'm going to show you how to do that. So what you're going to do is you're going to take 4 pieces out. 4 pieces out. The small one, the small petal. What I'm going to do is I'm going to apply some glue on this side, and I'm going to stick, you know, the bottom of the other petals on top of it, and then now you have 2 petals joined together. So to form the center, you have to pick one side up. We're going to make like a little flower bud, which I'm going to zoom in this so that you can see better. Just bear with me. Oops, sorry, there is like a little accident that happened just now. My camera just fell from the tripod, so I have to start over again. Okay. Okay, so let's get back to what we're doing. So I'm making the center right now. So what we're going to do is we need to form a shape of flower buds like this. This is what you're going to do. And what I'm doing here is I'm going to apply a dash of hot glues in here, one side of the petal, and then I'm going to close it up, sort of like making a triangle shape. And use your finger here to hold it. Okay, 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 and you're gonna wrap this little triangle up with another side of the petal. And you don't have to put hot glue right away, you just have to see how the shape turns out, and then you know where to apply the hot glue. Okay, so now I'm going to apply one dash here. Do the other one. Take your time to do this center. You know, sometimes people don't get it right away, so it's okay. I tried so many times before I got it right. Okay, so the second layer, we're going to apply a dash of hot glues here, and I'm going to glue it at the bottoms of here, and then do the same for the other side. Okay, so and then repeat the same step which you just did. I want to make it look natural, so I'm not going to make it so symmetrical. So I'm just going to randomly hold this in the center with hot glue. Remember to hold it a bit longer so that the glue will stick to the paper, because sometimes when you don't hold it long enough, the glue will would just like dries out, and then the paper will bounce back. And you do the same for the other side. Okay, so now we have a flower center right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to enlarge the center so that it looks like we have a full, like, you know, flower bud in here. Same, we're going to pick 4 of this. I'm going to pick 4 of this, and I'm going to apply each of them. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make it easy. I'm going to just apply, please. You don't have to do this. You can just apply the petal piece by piece, but for me, this is a fast way to do it, which I wanted to. So just apply in the center. Okay, so because we close up from this, you know, the right hand side of me, so I'm gonna do the opposite. So I'm gonna go from this side and this side to begin with. So I'm gonna turn around, apply a bit of hot glue here, and then I'm gonna close this up, hold it, do the other side as well. Don't close it up so tightly, so that, you know, if you do like loosely just like touch the paper with the hot glue, it will give you like a really casual but natural look. Because flower, they should not look the same. They should all look different. And then the same thing, I'm gonna do this. So, here you go. Okay, so I use my flower buds. So now you have like a flower center. It's not perfect, which is what I like, because perfect doesn't look natural to me. I want each flower to look different. Okay, so when you finish, we are going to do this layer of the flower center. I'm going to show you. So once you finish the flower bud, you're going to apply petals like this around it. You know, so what I'm gonna do is, you take a piece of petal, okay, you apply hot glue on this side of the hot glue, on this side of the petal, so that when you glue them at the bottom right here, so the petal is curled, you know, from outside like this. So I don't know how I'm gonna say it, but so there we go. Okay. I'm going to do it the fast way, so I'm going to just apply 2 at a time. So you go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're going to curl the petal to make it look like this, because, you know, we want to achieve this look. So what I'm going to do is use your thumb, press the center of the petal, push it against the center, and then position the petal. So try this before you apply hot glue, otherwise it's going to stick to the center and it's quite fussy to get it, pull it off and without pulling the paper. So what I'm going to do, put my thumb here, and then here you go, hold it a bit longer so that the hot glue will stick to it. You can find your own way of doing this part as well, but this is how I like to do it. Use my thumb to create a curve here, and then try on the position of the petal and see how it looks. If it's good enough, I apply hot glue, and then I pull it to the center. And yeah, here you go. Okay, I'm gonna hold it a bit longer so that it sticks to the paper. Okay, so we're going to do the other side as well. Just turn around, do it the other. We're going to apply 2 at the same time. So sorry about me rambling all the time, but I'm trying to walk you through the process and how I made it. Same thing, gotta apply hot glue after you try on the petal. So, doesn't seem. You see what happened is I see the petal just pops out because the hot glue is not sticky enough. I don't know why, but cardstock seems a little bit difficult, but you just have to hold it a bit longer. Okay, I think it's good enough. So I'm going to apply another layers of this petal. So I'm going to turn the the flower bud upside down. And I'm going to apply another layer of this. So I'll go around here. I'm gonna do the other side as well. I'm going to apply 4 petals this time, so I can do it way faster than just doing one piece at a time. Okay, flip it over. See. So because we the last petal that we do for the first layer, we close up from this side. So for this layer, we're going to begin with this side over here. So I'm gonna just repeat the same step which you just did for the first layer. I wish I can do it a bit faster here, but because of the hot glue, I have to hold it so it is thick. So just bear with me. Okay, so I'm gonna turn around on the other side, do the same thing. Yeah, sorry about the noises from these scratches of the paper. Cardstock, it's harder than the other regular printing paper, so I say it's more durable. So it's rough sometimes when it touches the surface of the tables. So you have those noises. Go. Okay, so now we're seeing that this is sort of like the center of the rose bud, but we have to continue to build more petals onto it so that we can achieve a full like bloom rose. But sometimes you can just use this as like a small one. Okay, so now that we're done with the the very center of the flowers, what I'm going to do next, I'm going to use, here we have like 3 templates, so this is like this sort of like a second size of the petal, so I'm going to use these 4 pieces of petal to build another layer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn around the center again. This time I'm not going to put the petal on a diagonal, like, you know, positions. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to find this 1, 2, 3, 4 points of the angles, and I'm going to apply this petal just right to the center. You see where this point goes to the center of these petals. The reason why is because I wanted to achieve a look that all the petals will look more natural. If you do it like one layer by the other, just like this first 2 layers, it's going to look a little bit like, I don't know, not so natural. Yeah, it depends on how you want your rose to look like. I want mine to sort of like look like this one over here. Oh jeez, yeah. So I want, well, anyway, so you know what I mean. So I wanted my rose to look natural. So yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do. So okay, back to where we are, and I'm gonna apply second one. You know, on the other side of the petals right here, you just have to find this corner. Here you go. I'm gonna do 4 petals at a time. So it's so easy to find. It's just like the point which they have at the bottom, which it's obvious. There's like 4 points, and you just have to find the angles, and here you go. Here you go. Okay, so I just have another accident again. So remember that I put this like second like layers of the roses petals on it, and then all of a sudden that my camera just died, and I did not realize that. So I just continued to glue the petals onto it, and then I'm done, and I just glue another like, you know, bottom layers to it. So I just felt, oh, something seems to be like not right, because there is like weird beeping. So I stopped and I checked on my camera and just found out that my battery died. So anyway, so I don't want it to like you know, start over again, so I would just verbally explain. So it's just the same thing. When you have this like larger layer, you just repeat the same step which you did for this first 2 layers. Just apply hot glue and then stick it, you know, to the center. Yeah, so after this one, we are moving on to the last layer of the rose. And remember, I cut out 5 petals for the bottom layers. So these are the bottom layers petals right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip over the rose again. So you do the same thing. Apply hot glues on to the petals and find the angles of the bottoms, just like what you did for the previous layer. And then you glue it onto it. Okay, make sure that it sticks to the bottom. Flip it over. Apply a string of hot glues on each side of the petals, like this. And you just glue that against the previous layer. I think this is quite straightforward, you know, but sometimes I think that it's better for you to watch me to do the whole thing, so you get an idea. So, okay. So I'm just gonna continue. So what you're going to do for the second petal is that you have to put this one slightly overlapping the first petal, which you just glue to the rose, and then you repeat the same thing. Apply a string of hot glue onto each side of the petal and stick it to the center. remember to hold it long enough so that the petal doesn't bounce back up because of the hot glue dries out and it doesn't hold the paper together. And remember, cardstock is tougher than regular printing paper, so this step is quite necessary. I wish I can do it faster, but there's no other way. Sorry. Okay, so I'll just continue. Sorry, because it's all look tacky at the bottom because this last layer was peeled off from the rose. Like I explained before, that because the battery died and I didn't notice that, so I just continue making the roses, and by the time it's finished, it's like I just realized that I didn't film that process. So I just start over again, but I did not torn off the whole rose. I just peel off the second, but the last layer of the petals, and just to redo this demonstration so that you can see how I put things together. Okay, last one. Okay. This rose that I just made here is smaller than the other one that I have in here. Mainly it's because I did not apply a larger petal as the last layer. How your rose look really depends on how many petals you're gonna glue onto it. So the more you glue onto it, the larger it's gonna look like. So, but I decided to do this medium size, which I call it, and I have smaller rose here, I have larger roses, so here you go. Oops. Center. Okay, so these are the roses that I made, and this is the one that I just did in the tutorial. This one is not the largest one at all. I have larger rose right here. This is probably the largest one so far, and then this one is slightly smaller than this one here, but it's slightly bigger than the one that I just made. And I also have a smaller one, and I also have some small one. This one is about like 3-4 inches, you know, diameters. So this is like a smaller version. It really depends on how many petals you're going to put, so your rose will all turn out in different sizes and different look. But in my opinion, no flower should look the same, and they should all have their own unique look. So don't worry too much getting it perfect or anything. If you don't get it at the first attempt, don't be discouraged, because practice makes perfect. As you keep going, making more petals and more roses, you are going to pick up the techniques. So here you go. So this is today's tutorial on how to make cardstock paper roses. I hope you will enjoy it, and I will probably make a tutorial on how to make the rose templates, like these templates, soon. So just stay tuned, and we'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.